Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Cultist back again with another logic video. This time we are covering the subject of, turn-based combat in RPGs. It's technically something we've covered before, which is how to assign XP. The only difference is I've added some slight adjustments which I think will be useful to people. My old system was not very specific. It was mostly just about how to add the points rather than how to assign them to a certain character. And it had certain drawbacks. So basically what I've done is created a new and improved system. I'll show you in just a second. First thing I've done is here in enemy encounters, I've added a score that is basically affects your temporary XP, or PEXP, TM for temporary. It doesn't really entirely make sense, but whatever. The abbreviation doesn't matter. What mainly matters is this raises your temporary XP score, which by the end of the match is turned into non-temporary XP, which I, showed you how to build that in the other video, the how to assign XP video. But basically, by putting these at the beginning of each enemy encounter, you're already receiving a score for every enemy that's generated in a fight. And basically, if you win the fight, this will be tallied up. And if you lose, presumably it never would be, turned into permanent XP. So this works quite well, I would say. Now, there is one thing that should be taken into account. I don't really know for certain, because there's a lot of different ways people could do this, but basically when characters die, they usually don't receive XP, at least as far as I'm aware of. Now, there are some games that do have it so they receive XP even if they die, just so long as the entire party is not wiped. If you're not all dead, some of them will receive XP. But if that's the case, this needs no modification, really. However, if you want to have it so that dead characters do not receive XP, it's as simple as putting a timeline in here, or putting a keyframe in the timeline. I've also connected a counter and set the timeline to sustain, so basically when it hits the end, if you set it on sustain, it will just freeze here at the end like this. And it can be reset if you want to. Also, I want to check this real quick. Oh, that just goes into who can move and who can't. Turn taking and all that. But yeah, they'll be dead, and then you can use this action recorder, set to loop, and all the action recorder does is turn off the temporary XP, so that by the end of the game, when you tally everything up, they won't be able to tally that particular character's points, and you just put this on their death chip, which I've showed how to put that in there in the previous videos. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I showed how to make characters die. Every character has a death animation, so I would assume I did. But anyway, let's give it a little test just to see how it all turns out. Now, for the purposes of testing, we're going to pull out a little damage modifier and kill Valerie Hudson right off the bat. just so we can test how this works. And once she's dead, of course there's that damage modifier that came out. And then we'll just kill the enemies and see what our total is. I finally added the chop attack. There seems to be a slight problem with our dear Valerie here. I have a theory as to why this is occurring. Probably what's happening is, even though this is turned off, it's still assigning XP. Like, it's still assigning a value, I should say. Something we could do, though, is connect them to the power. That way, basically, if it's active, it can be fueled, and if it's not active, it can't be fueled. Let's go ahead and test that. And we're gonna kill her real quick, just to make sure. Turn it off, that way, in case the other characters collide with it, won't mess them up. Okay, let's see. Now we have another issue, which is our total is not being tallied for the other characters. Alternatively, since all of these are powered on, what you could potentially do is just take the can't earn and apply it to this as well. Another way you could do it is have individual ports leading from the score transfer, like, you know, and connect it to the appropriate one and then just turn off the port. I think we'll do it this way, though, where we directly turn off the, you know, variable. And let's go ahead and kill her again. Oh, that just really settled the trick. There we go. Now that works fine. Although you will notice that there's a slight difference from before in terms of how I assign the final score. Just to go over it real quick, before I had it gradually build using the continuous method. But I wanted a precise number. I may come up with a way, if you want the neat little number crunching, you know, animation where it builds up from 0. I may come up with a way to add that back in, but for now we're more interested in having the thing function in a precise manner where it assigns XP without any, you know, hassle or possible errors. And I would just, at the beginning of every game, I would tally up what the enemies are worth. Like if this is worth 10 and he's worth 20 or whatever, that'd be 30. So just have 30 for each character. And then when the fight is over, you can tally it all up. If everybody's dead, there won't be any need to tally it. Speaking of which, I probably should go over how to implement a complete game over in this kind of system. You know, where the party's completely wiped and you start over from scratch. But for now, hopefully everyone found this particular video helpful. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts, leave a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. If you would like to support us financially, consider clicking the join button to become a member and unlock perks. You can also leave a super thanks in the comments, which we would appreciate, or a one-time donation on Ko-fi, link in the description. That's all for now. Goodbye.